This is a match that actually went the way that I genuinely predicted it would go. Honestly, going into this match, I wasn't expecting much from Austria. They don't have that firepower to even compete against a serious team. Talk more of a team like Spain. Spain actually did their job. I think they didn't get off even in gear one or gear two. I think they did the job pretty much relaxed because I won't say Austria were poor, but Spain overall had a better quality over them. But I have a couple of things that I'll be talking in this video. Let's start with the most important thing that I want to talk. Before Spain scored all their goals, I genuinely think that Spain lacked this great, I don't know what to call it. Is it this great? I think they play soft. They have the panache, the style. They play very good football. They are very, very fluent. They transition well. Their football is very, very fluid and all these things. But I think there is this thing lacking. There is this chill, this grit that Spain is lacking, especially in the attack. The attack is very, very good. You get me? Very, very good attack. Isabel had a very good match. He has scored 12 goals in his last 10 appearance for Spain. And you might say, even after him doing all that, I still think like, oh yeah, the attack is, I won't say poor, but it lacks you know, this level of aggression. I think that's the word. Spain lacks aggression generally, and you might say, "Oh no, that's not the way to play football." I totally agree. There's no one way to play football, and Spain plays like Spain. And for someone like that has watched a lot of team in this World Cup, I know like a lot of teams that lack that aggression or that lack that skill. I think if they jam a team like maybe an Argentina or a France, you might say, okay, they jammed France, they met France in the Nations League and they beat them. Yeah, two things can coexist. France are looking very, very dangerous in this World Cup. Spain, on the other hand, you can't write them off. This is a team that has been unbeaten in the last 34 games. They haven't lost any match. No, they have lost. They haven't lost any match. They lost they lost the Nations League. I think in the 90 minutes or something. But the commentator said they haven't lost any match since 2024. I don't know how true that is. But going into this World Cup, everyone's like, no, like Spain, we are like one of the favorites. And I think I haven't watched a lot of the game. I watched the game against Cape Verde. Apart from that, this is the second Spain game I'm watching. And there is one thing I always notice, and that is the team lack aggression. The team lack this chill, this grit that we normally see like in all these modern team. I can't seem to find it in Spain. But apart from that, very very good performance. Their wingers are the very very fluid. Oh, Lami Yama, we can't sit there and talk about Lami Yama. We already know what he offers. Very very good player. You know, very very good player. Very very consistent. Very very good. But from what I'm seeing from Lami Yama and what I'm seeing from Michael Olise, previously seen that Michael Olise have a better season. I think I've had this conversation with someone. Yama is a very good player, still very young. Can he develop and do more? Probably. They are going to be. He's going to. He's already one of the best in the world, and I think the sky is his limit. But right now, I think some section of Barca fans kind of overrate him, in my opinion. I don't know why, but I just think he's overrated. You get me? And I'm not saying like he's not a baller. He's a baller, but I genuinely think he's overrated. I've watched Ulysses and I've watched Yama, bro. Ulysses clears him. For now, let's just put it. For now, Ulysses clears him. Maybe in the next 2, 3 years, there might be a different conversation. Yama had a very good game, in my opinion. Didn't score. Did he assist? I don't think so. I don't think he assisted. He didn't assist. Got a very, but his performance was very, very solid, very, very entertaining. You get me? But Kukurea, the fact that Chelsea sold Kukurea to Real Madrid for £51 million, that's a steal, bro. For 51 million, one of the best left back. And this is what I'm saying. I didn't like the fee we get for Kukurea in the transfer market. And Chelsea said, oh, they are happy. But if you're looking at how much players are going for, players that Kukurea are actually better, you might say, like, oh, they are not in the same position. But if you look at how much clubs are slapping on players, you know, like Real Madrid got Cucurella for a cut-off price. £51 million for a world-class left back is a cut-off price. And obviously, I didn't want him to leave Chelsea, but it is what it is. He had 2 assists, very, very good performance. in my opinion. I think is like maybe a second or the third best player for Spain in that in 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 their squad generally or in the pitch generally actually. But for the Austria side, I think the keeper made few saves here and there. But most of the goals, he didn't have answer for them. He has nothing to do for most of the goals. Generally, that game was like there's not much talking point in that game rather than Spain picked up an opponent they should be beating and actually decimated them. It's 3-0 decimation, maybe, but the performance is a decimation because, bro, you look at the touches, you look at the possession, you look at the XG, Spain had them on toast. You get me? Austria had no answers for them. I genuinely, like I said, I genuinely don't think Austria could have done anything, to like, swing this game their way. They couldn't have done shit, honestly. They couldn't have done shit. And Unai Simons, even though like I've said, like yo, I think Raya deserves to start. Simmons, had a very good performance, and I think he has the longest clean sheets in the World Cup in World Cup. Going in the World Cup without conceding a goal. He hasn't conceded a goal. I think this is last World Cup or since this World Cup. I don't know, but he has the highest clean sheet. But it's very, very good for Spain, moving to the next round, the round of 16. And the irony, they might be knocked out. If Ronaldo actually get past Croatia, it's going to be Portugal, or anyone who qualified from Portugal is going to beat Spain. And the irony is that Spain was knocked off in Qatar at the round of 16. And that might be happening again, obviously. Now, Portuguese team is a side that I genuinely have my observation about them. I don't think they're as good as people think they are. In as much as they are my favorite to win it, I want them to win it, but they haven't convinced me of late. They haven't really, really convinced me of late. And that is one thing that Spain has done, apart from the first match and played the Saudi side. I think they played another match. There has been a little bit of off and on. And I won't forgive myself if I don't remember this. I don't understand why the coach is always benching Nico Williams. He hasn't gotten enough game time in this World Cup. Most times he's coming off the bench. I don't know, maybe he's injured or fully fit. We don't know the situation of Nico Williams' health, or like how far or how long he can actually play. But he hasn't been playing in this World Cup, and I genuinely think he's one of their best players. I think he should be given the opportunity to maybe start. Rodri had a very good performance generally. Like I said, this match is pretty much boring because it's a straightforward business. We all know Spain, we are the better team, and they have the upper hand, and they decimated uh, Austria. There's no long story about it. You get me? There's no long story about it. Well, I think from now on, the round of 16, I think we are going to see a lot of more serious team. I'm not saying Austria is not a serious team, but yeah, they literally they couldn't do shit. They couldn't do shit. You get me? They couldn't do shit. And with that said, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You'll be.